So let me just acknowledge a few people. A couple of our guys who were actually hostages in the embassy for the entirety of the 444 days are here. I consider them American heroes. Bill Doherty and Rocky Sickman, are you around? Can you stand up? Just do something. There you go. There you go. Those folks spent a lot of time in Tehran in an unpleasant situation. Thank you both. Of our house guests here, we have several of our house guests who who were in hiding until they were rescued, hopefully by the CIA. We have here Lee Schatz, who's one of them. Lee, you can't miss Lee. He's 7'3". Kathy Stafford, I think, is here. Probably doesn't want to be there. She is, Kathy Stafford. Veronica come here, and Bob Anders is here. That's right, Bob. Where's Bob? I saw Bob. Stand up, Bob. There's Bob Anders. Three other ones could not make it, but I want to thank you guys and honor you guys. This is a story. It's through a man's perspective and through the perspective of the CIA. But one of the more beautiful aspects of it is that this is about the Canadians who stepped up. There were folks that didn't want to take in our people who escaped the embassy. Governments, some friends of ours sometimes, who said, you know what, this isn't appropriate for us. We don't want to absorb this risk. The Canadians did absorb this risk. And when they did, there was a man who was the ambassador, whose name was Ken Taylor. And Ken allowed folks to come stay, putting himself at great risk. And his wife also agreed, putting herself at great risk. And he then began to coordinate a strategy with between Ottawa and himself and other governments and the people who were staying with him to get them free and to try to organize communications with the CIA. This is an example of international cooperation and diplomacy that I'm extremely proud to have in the movie. And it demonstrates, as well as, of course, our house guest role, the danger that diplomats put themselves in for our lives every day. We were reminded of this tragically recently in Benghazi. And this is yet another reminder. So if Ken and Pat would please stand. Thank you very much. We have some of our actors here before I want to get to our last folks. We have Bryan Cranston is here, who plays a CIA agent. I don't think you guys would ever hire him for the real CIA, but we'll see. Speaking of which, I think the CIA director and my personal hero is here, Mr. General Director David Petraeus. Look at that. And his wife, his beautiful wife, his lovely wife. I think we may be the only movie premiere in history to have the director of the CIA show up. That is pretty cool. Awesome, I'm going to tell my kids about a true and great American hero, sir. John Goodman has gone home, but wishes you all his best. I guess really the only person we have left is to thank is the guy who the movie follows. They follow his life, or what the folks in our clandestine service, folks in the CIA do. That they sacrifice oftentimes relationships with their spouses. They don't see their children. They go to work, not for riches, not for recognition, because it's the right thing to do and because it reflects the values of our country. And it's the way they were brought up. This is a story seen through the eyes of Mr. Tony Mendez. He's an Intelligence Star winner. He was considered one of the 50 most important CIA operatives of all time. He's here with his wife, who's for sure his better half. Thank you both. Could you both please stand up, because it's just an honor to be here. It's an honor for me to tell your story. Other than that, I just want to thank Warner Brothers. They've all done great jobs. And usually at premieres you go through the whole litany of the executive stuff. I love the executives. I love the actors. But this is about the folks that I've just mentioned. Remember as you watch this movie that they're in the room with you, and it's a pretty special thing, and has been my true honor to tell your story. I hope each of you feels that I have done you justice. I may have failed in areas, but I never, ever, ever stop trying for a day to tell this story properly. Thank you. God bless you. Enjoy the movie.